Now the Senate says, we have a plan. Well, great. Pass the damn thing, all right?
That is House Speaker John Boehner, fiery as always as we talk about the possibility of a government shutdown.
And we're gearing up for one here, but Top Line starts right now.
Hello and welcome to ABC News Top Line. I'm Rick Klein.
And I'm Jonathan Carl.
Every day at noon Eastern, right here bringing you the latest in politics. It's twitter.com/Rick Klein, twitter.com/John Carl. We're on location here, right by the Capitol.
Welcome here to Capitol Hill, Rick. It's good to have you up here,
Thanks for hosting me, sir. What's on your
mind?
mind?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm going to start with arm and a leg. Major debate right now going on within the administration about what to do with Libya and, Rick, whether or not to arm the rebels. So the question here is, do we really know who they are? We heard yesterday from the administration talk that there are flickers of Al-Qaeda within the Libyan rebel groups. Do you really want to arm these guys like we did in Afghanistan?
An extraordinary admission to say there may be Al-Qaeda in the opposition, and we'll see how this plays out in the next couple of days. We'll talk to Congressman Joe Wilson from South Carolina in a few moments. Next up today, not so fast. Just when you had those press credentials ready, it turns out the first Republican debate of the cycle that was scheduled for May isn't going to happen until September. It turns out in Politico and NBC News, where we're going to sponsor this, you actually need candidates to have a debate.
Apparently so, and I guess having, Herman Cain up there, it's going to be kind of tough. You need to have a few more. But we will eventually get to debates, and I'm going to make a bold prediction here, Rick. I think that we're eventually actually going to have candidates on the Republican side.
You heard it here first.
Next up, extremely Schumer. Love this. The Senator Schumer was caught in an open mic coaching other Democratic senators about what to say about the Republicans in these budget wars. Apparently, he likes to use the word extreme. He was saying that is the word the caucus wants us to use. I guess now we know why we've heard that word extreme a lot.
I think that has become evident in the last couple days, if nothing else. And finally today, bring it on. We can report some bipartisan consensus. Take a look at what Howard Dean said about the prospect of a government shutdown. The former Democratic National Committee chairman says, from a partisan point of view, I think it would be the best thing in the world to have a shutdown, which of course reminded us of Michael Steele right here on this program just a couple of weeks ago. This is what he had to say.
I personally think there's nothing wrong with the government shutdown. I've been an advocate for it over 7 months now.
There you have it. They can agree.
All right, there you have it. And Rick, before we introduce our guest, we do have a great little collection of sound on the word extreme from Democratic senators. Please take a listen.
Extreme level, far to the right.
Extreme Tea Party.
Extreme territory, moving beyond what was reasonable.
Small, extreme minority.
Okay, now that is a perfect segue to introduce our next guest, Congressman Joe Wilson of South Carolina, a person who, from time to time, has been described as extreme.
Well, and it's amazing to me, Jonathan and Rick, you're actually making points that I wanted to make. And,
Wait a minute.
And it could be because they're the truth. And so thank you for raising these points. This is how the American people really will understand, sadly, the shenanigans that are going on here in Washington.
Okay, but help us out, though, on this the debate over funding the government right now.
Yes.
Because we are at this impasse.
Yes.
But Democrats say they have met you more than halfway. They've come up with some $25 billion in cuts. You guys had wanted $40 billion. I mean, they're not that far apart.
Well, actually, no, it was $61 billion is what we wanted, and we really wanted $100 billion. There should be compromise, and we should be working together. But the conservatives won the election last year. The compromise should be to the conservative side. It should not be name-calling. Senator Schumer called the Republican whip, Kevin McCarthy, all kind of names. I mean, that's not how you negotiate. And so we should be negotiating in good faith, but it was the conservative position that won last November.
Are you sick, though, of any temporary solutions? Do you want an end to that?
Yes, and in fact, I did not vote for the last extension because, to me, the Democrats are not negotiating in good faith. The president, his lead negotiator, as he was appointed, left for Helsinki. The president himself played golf. That's not how you're serious. We need to be serious. This is very much important to the people of the United States.
Well, I got to tell you, though, you hear it privately, and I'm sure you hear it from a lot of your leadership colleagues, say that they actually really fear a government shutdown, that this would be really bad for Republicans. How bad do you think it would be? Do you think it really would be all that bad for Republicans?
I think this is so different. I think the Democrats, how did we get here? It was a failure of the Democratic Congress last year. That's why we don't have a budget for 2011. So really, we go back to how this began. Why'd they push this to March? My view is that they really are encouraging a shutdown, thinking that let's relive 1994. There's a difference in 1994. The mainstream media, I will tell you, is not complicit with saying it's a Republican fault. We now have 24-hour news networks. We have the internet. We have blogging. We have radio,
how bad
talk
would it
radio.
Be on substance, though? Would it be bad?
Well,
is it unthinkable? Is it catastrophic?
It's not catastrophic, but at the same time, it should be avoided because truly innocent people, we call them persons who are not exclusive. Well, no, they're people, and people will lose their income. And now we're going to non-essential. And now we're going to be pushing because we're going to again pass our cuts this week, and we're going to have something in it. It's going to provide that if it doesn't pass, that members of Congress, their salaries are cut or eliminated. I think that's good. And then it has another provision.
It's not going to balance your budget, but yeah.
Oh, no, well, we're going to try. We're going to try. And also, it provides that if the Senate does not act, and this is also important, the American people need to know, the Senate has not acted.
Right.
Where's Harry Reid? I'm somewhat surprised the numbers you just named were the first time I've ever heard those numbers. They're really not negotiating good faith. They want to see a shutdown in the tradition of 1994. They want to see people being moved out by wheelchair from nursing homes. That's wrong, and that shouldn't be what this is our government.
In our last 90 seconds or so, I want to ask you
Yes.
about Libya. Is this operation that's going on right now, is this legal? Is this constitutional? The president work within his authority?
I believe it is constitutional, but I will tell you that the president's gotten us into a third war. We should be going to the military, and y'all were referencing that too. What do we do next? Who are the rebels? Do we arm them? But we should be going to our military leaders to be successful. If we enter a war, the president has gotten us into the third war. We need to go to our military leaders and say, how do we conduct this?
Should we be
how do we
arming the
exit?
rebels? Should we be arming the rebels?
That should be a military decision, and with the intelligence that we are receiving. And so I defer. General Petraeus, we're so fortunate. And
he's busy in Afghanistan, though. We're talking Libya. I mean, bottom line,
Admiral Stavridis is a person that we can put a lot of faith in.
Was it a mistake, bottom line, to get involved?
I believe it was, but now that we're into it, we are at war. We now need to win because there's nothing worse than a dictator who is a rogue who has nothing to lose. So the president needs to show leadership. We need to win.
All right, Congressman Joe Wilson, thank you for joining us here on Top Line.